Hello and welcome dear students. Children, in today's video, I will talk about the chapter We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together from class 11th book Hornbill. Children, मुझे मालूम है आप सबको ये चैप्टर टफ लगता है, लेकिन trust me, I will make it easy for you. Listen very carefully and see the full video. I will give you the theme, detailed summary. Children, you can take it as explanation also because I will be explaining whatever is there on each and every page, each and every paragraph. And I will give you the meanings of difficult words from the chapter. I will take up the question answers in my next video. चलिए अब जानते हैं चैप्टर के ऑथर्स के बारे में. Children, authors are Gordon Cook and Alan East. Gordon Cook is the son of a computer scientist, Stephen Cook. He is the author and two-time Canadian Olympic sailor. And Alan East is an associate head of School of Coventry Law School. And he was a litigator, manager and legal trainer. Children, आपकी बुक में एक क्वेश्चन है, Things to Do, Part 1. You have been asked to label the parts of a yacht. You can see I have already labeled for you. And after this, I have given you the ship terminology, children. The words that we use while we sail in the sea, while our sea voyage, sea journey. You can pause the video and you can just learn all these words. You can revise all these words before reading this chapter, children. It will be highly beneficial for you to understand the text well. This chapter, We Are Not Afraid to Die, tells the story of the extreme courage exhibited by a family of 4 and 2 crew members as they struggle in the sea. ये कहानी है एक फैमिली की जिसमें 4 लोग हैं और उनके साथ 2 क्रू मेंबर्स हैं. वो सब की उन्होंने कैसे अपने करेज से, अपनी ब्रेवरी से सी के अंदर स्ट्रगल किया एंड दे ऑल सर्वाइव्ड, और वो सब कैसे जिंदा बचकर वहां से बाहर निकले. Now the main characters in this chapter. First is the author named Gordon Cook. Author's wife. Author is the narrator of the story also. Author's wife Mary and author's 2 children. Jonathan is the son and Suzanne is the daughter. And 2 crewmen children, Larry Vigil and Herb Sigler. Now we come to the theme of the chapter. The theme of this chapter revolves around the courage, resilience, optimism and फैमिली बॉन्डिंग इन द टाइम ऑफ क्राइसिस. कैसे पूरी फैमिली ने जो है पूरे करेज के साथ और पॉजिटिविटी के साथ, ऑप्टिमिज्म, पॉजिटिविटी, और कैसे उन्होंने इतने टफ टाइम में भी जो है वो बहुत ही पेशेंस के साथ उन सब ने काम किया एंड दे ऑल सर्वाइव्ड. द ऑथर एंड अदर्स फेस्ड डेंजर इन द सी बट दे शोड exemplary skills and bravery and remained optimistic while fighting the strong gales, means strong winds there in the sea, to survive in the atrocious weather, that bad weather. Now we start with the summary of the chapter. Again I say, it is more of an explanation than a summary. This chapter is about the author narrating his thrilling journey across the sea and about how optimism raises one's spirits and helps one overcome stress and difficulty. The author, his wife Mary, son Jonathan, and daughter Suzanne started a sea journey from Plymouth, England in July 1976. Author wanted to repeat the round-the-world voyage made 200 years earlier by Captain James Cook. Author and Mary spent 16 years sharpening their or honing their seafaring skills in British water. For this journey, he made a boat and named it as Wave Walker. This professionally built boat was 23 meters long, weighing 30 tons, with wooden frame. They spent months fitting it out and testing it in the roughest weather. They tested the boat in the roughest weather in the sea, whether they would be able to survive in this boat or not. The first leg of their journey was very pleasant as they sailed down the west coast of Africa to Cape Town. They covered 1,05,000 kilometers and were very happy. They were in the southern Indian Ocean, that was one of the world's roughest seas. They took two crewmen named Larry Vigil, who was from America, and a Swiss man named Herb Sigler to help them tackle one of the world's roughest seas. On their second day at the Cape Town, they began to encounter strong gales, means they started facing strong winds. Their size was alarming. They were too high, up to 15 meters, as high as the main mast of their ship or the boat. But it did not worry them. On December 25, their ship was 3,500 kilometers east of Cape Town. And they celebrated Christmas despite the bad weather, as it was Christmas time, 25th of December, and they were very happy and they celebrated their festival there. And then came the new day, New Year Day, 1st of January. On 1st of January, there was no improvement in the weather, but they all presumed, they all guessed, they all predicted that weather would be fine. But there was no change, and they thought, yes, weather had to change soon. It did change, but for the worst. Weather became worse than before. At dawn on January 2, the waves were gigantic. They were sailing with only one small jib now. They slowed down the speed of the ship to avert any mishappening. They dropped the storm jib, they took all precautions, they tied everything with the help of a rope and went through life-saving drill, attached lifelines and wore life jackets to save themselves. Then they waited in the hope for the weather to change. Obviously, children, when we are facing any dangerous situation, what we expect, we expect the things to be right. We do not want any bad thing to happen to us. The same way these people, those who were there in the sea, they were facing actually high waves and their life was in danger. So they prayed, they expected the winds to be normal, the tides there in the sea to be normal. But children, nothing happened, nothing changed. At 6 p.m. suddenly the wind dropped and the sky became darker. A huge wave struck their boat, Wave Walker. It was twice the height of the other waves. Means now weather was more dangerous than before. They were about to sail through when another gigantic wave hit their boat, and it almost capsized. They were all about to drown in the sea. Arthur's head smashed into the wheel and was thrown off the boat. He started drowning as he was losing consciousness because he was thrown off the boat and he was about to be unconscious now, about to faint, we can say. Suddenly his head came out of water. He saw Wave Walker overturning, capsizing in the sea, its mast almost horizontal. Masts were vertical, but now as the boat was about to capsize, the masts were almost horizontal. Another wave came and the boat was thrown upright. Arthur grabbed the pole of the boat and entered the boat. He was thrown around like a rag doll and was badly injured. His left rib cracked and his mouth was filled with blood and broken teeth. With great difficulty, he reached the wheel. He wanted to control the boat now, the ship now. And he went to the wheel with great difficulty and took charge of the situation. He lined up the stern for the next wave and held it tightly. There was water everywhere in their ship. Suddenly Mary came there to tell him, his wife Mary came there to tell him that they were sinking. Their life was in danger. Arthur asked her to be at the wheel and then went down because he wanted to see whether his children were fine or not. He saw Larry Vigil and Herb Sigler, those crewmen who had accompanied them to help them tackle the dangerous sea. They were pumping water out like madmen. Their ship was completely damaged. Clothes, crockery, jars, tins, toys, everything was moving about in water. Author went to the children's cabin and asked them if they were all right. They replied in affirmation, positive reply. Oh, yes, means they said yes, they were all right. Siu had his daughter Suzanne. She had got a big bump above her eyes. He had other important works than to the author, her father, Siu's father, the author. He had other important works than to see her bump because that was not the time to take care of those bumps. The most important thing was to save the lives. He somehow managed to stretch or spread canvas across the gaps to prevent water from entering the ship. He was able to spread the canvas because he wanted more water should not enter their boat. Now they faced another problem. What was that? Their hand pumps started to block because of the debris there in the boat, in the water. They stopped working and the electric pump short circuited. The water level in the boat rose alarmingly as they were not able to pump water out. He got a spare electric pump from under the chart room floor. Thankfully, it worked. They were all continuously working, pumping, steering, repairing, and sending mayday calls. We all recently heard this word mayday calls when a tragic incident happened. Our Air India pilot, he said this mayday, mayday, mayday means their life was in danger. They all were about to die. The author sent mayday calls, but no one replied. They were in the remote corner of the world, probably that was the reason. Siu's head was badly swollen now, and she had a deep cut on her arm. But she did not talk about it, as she did not want her father to worry about it when they were all struggling with waves, when they were all struggling to save their lives. On January 3, the water level in the boat or the ship was under control. All the main rib frames of the boat were damaged. Means their boat was completely damaged actually because of the water, because of that wave that struck their ship. They had survived for 15 hours since the wave hit. But author was sure that they won't survive for long. Now he wanted to look for a safe place where they could spend some time and repair their boat. He checked the charts and made calculations to look for a safe place nearby. He found rather two small islands, a few hundred kilometers to the east. Isle Amsterdam was a French scientific base. Their only hope was to reach the island, those pinpricks. Actually, why the author has used these words, children, pinpricks? Because in the map, those islands were looking like small spots, dots. On January 4, they had few centimeters of water left in the boat. They could not set sail because they did not want to put any pressure on the frame of the boat. They hoisted the storm jib and proceeded towards the islands. They ate biscuits after 2 days and they called it meal. At around 4 p.m. once again weather started deteriorating. Weather was bad once again. Author once again went down to comfort the children, to look for the children whether they were fine. And his son Jonathan said that they were not afraid to die if they all could be together. Author was speechless at this moment. He left the children's cabin, now more determined to fight the sea with whatever they had. That evening, Author and Mary sat together, feeling their end was near. They felt now they could die any moment. Their end was near. By God's grace, their boat rode out of the storm. Once again, he checked the calculations to look for the islands. His daughter Sue came that time to him to give him a card. On the front side, she had drawn caricatures of her parents with words. What did she write, children, there? Here are some funny people. Did they make you laugh? I laughed a lot as well. There was a message inside. Oh, how I love you both. So this card is to say thank you and let us hope for the best. Children, you have to learn all this for short answer questions, children. Okay, now we move further. Author was determined to make all efforts to come out of this dreadful situation. He checked the calculations. They were using the spare compass as they had lost the main one. At about 2 p.m., after estimating the influence of the westerly currents, he went on the deck and asked Larry to move the ship to 185 degrees to take another course, 185 degrees. Move the ship to this angle. And they hoped to see the islands at about 5 p.m. The author went to rest for a while because he had been working so hard to survive. But what happened, children, at this time? He was about to rest for a while, but he slept. When he got up at 6 p.m., it was dark. He thought they had missed the island. At that moment, Jonathan came and asked if he could hug him, and said that he was the best daddy in the world and the best captain also, as he was able to find the island. That island was right there in front of them and was as big as a battleship. Author saw the stark outline of the Isle Amsterdam. It was a dark piece of volcanic rock with little vegetation. Author called it the most beautiful island in the world. Children, there can be a question on this. Why did the author call it a most beautiful island in the world? Why? Because of that island only their lives were saved. Now, finally they reached the island and were welcomed by all 28 inhabitants, all the people who were living there on that island. They rested and repaired their boat and they returned safely. Author was happy and grateful to Larry Vigil and Herb Sigler for being optimistic throughout. Optimistic means for being positive and helping them actually throughout. He was also thankful to his wife Mary, who took control of the ship in crucial hours. He thought of his daughter Suzanne, who had a bump on her head and a cut on her arm, but did not want to worry her father. That 7-year-old girl had 6 minor operations. His son Jonathan, who was too brave and courageous all the time and was not afraid to die. Author's mind was filled with undeterred courage shown by 2 crewmen, his wife Mary, his daughter who did not worry about her head injury, and his son who wasn't afraid of dying. I hope, children, this chapter is clear to you. What message do we get from this chapter? This chapter teaches us to remain strong, brave, and optimistic in adverse situations, in bad situations. It highlights the power of bonding and unity. And children, here are the word meanings from the chapter. You can go through the word meanings. I have already given you some meanings, children, in the very beginning itself so that you are able to understand the chapter well. Revise the meanings. And children, the question answers of the chapter I will be giving you in the next video. Stay tuned for more videos on different topics. Like this video, subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends also. Thanks for watching my video.